Hi everybody, hope everyone's doing okay, everyone's staying safe and well and everything else. Welcome to my dining room. What I wanted to do today is just check in really, make sure everyone's okay. I am missing you all a huge amount. We're into week 2 now of lockdown and I think we're just about coping, okay? 2 of us at home with a 4-year-old. So those of you that are stuck at home with your kids, I completely sympathise with you. But apart from the all 4 seasons in one day that we randomly had yesterday, we have been really lucky that the sun's been shining, so we've been able to get out in the garden and see doing our daily walks and things like that. So yeah, I wanted to really kind of check in with you guys today. What I wanted to do was record a little video. I've had a lot of you asking when I've been speaking to you over the last week or so about appointments and stuff. Really kind of, I know everyone's panicking a little bit about their nails, and I always stress to all of you that you must look after your nails. Don't pick your gel off, don't pick your dip powders off, that kind of thing, because we all know it can obviously really ruin our nails. But there is going to be a period of time now where I'm not going to be able to see you to look after your nails. So I really wanted to do a little bit of something just to kind of help you get through the next few weeks, certainly. And if you do need to remove anything yourself at home, I want you to try and do it as safely as possible. See, I do obviously want to see you all again as soon as I can, but ideally with nails intact would be quite good. Natural nails, that is. And obviously picking, biting, peeling is going to have a detrimental effect on your nails, particularly with all the hand washing and everything we're doing at the moment and using hand sanitizers and that kind of thing. Obviously all those things contain alcohol and chemicals which dry our skin out. You're probably already seeing that with your hands at the moment, and even just being indoors with the central heating and stuff at the moment, it really dehydrates our skin. Some of you might have been noticing that in your skin on your face and your body and everything else. So really, to remove anything at home, if you do desperately need to do it, then try and do it as kind of kindly to your nails as possible and as safely as possible. So what I'm going to do today is I have put some gel on my nails. I haven't had any on my nails for the last few weeks, mainly just because of all the cleaning I've been doing at the salon over and above what I would normally do, and using like lots of antibacterial detergents and stuff, and same thing at home, and I've been wearing gloves and all that kind of thing. So I haven't really just got around to doing my nails, to be honest with you, for the last few weeks. So I haven't really had much on, but I have taken a little bit of time this week to look after my own nails. And my skin and everything else. So what I've actually done for the process of this is I've put mainly gel on my nails, but I have put some dip powder on one of my nails as well, just to kind of show you the difference with removal. There's not a huge amount of difference in terms of the process of removing it, it's just kind of how it comes off and the kind of texture of the product. I know the majority of you have gel polish on your nails. We don't really do extensions and stuff too often at the salon, so I know there's not really any of you out there that I would need to worry about in terms of acrylics. But if you've got friends or family members that might have acrylics on, then I can just run through a few tips with that as well. So what I'm going to do, I've got a little setup in my dining room here just with a few bits and pieces. So I'm just going to move the camera slightly just so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. Okay. So I've got some lovely lime green polish on my nails there. It's actually one of my favourite colours. This is Magpie Lime Ada. If any of you haven't tried this yet, it's a fab colour for the summer. It looks amazing on toes, and it does actually glow in the dark. And then on my thumb here, got the lovely blue sort of Island Getaway colour, which is one of the dip powder colours that we have. I'm just going to bring the light down a little bit more so hopefully you can see a little bit better. Okay, so standard Magpie gel polish on here with Give Me Strength underneath, which is our kind of like our structure strengthening gel underneath that majority of you have on your nails. This is really just to help your manicure last longer, but also to protect and strengthen your own nails as well. It does make the polish a little bit thicker, so it does take a little bit longer to come off than like a standard shellac or something like that you may have experienced before. And obviously the dip powder is a type of acrylic, so that's obviously going to take a little bit longer. So really just going to run through the things you need to get. What I've tried to do, obviously I have specific things that I use in the salon that make my life easier, but I've really tried to kind of root through the cupboards and stuff at home to kind of try and find things that you guys would already have, or that you can easily access in the supermarkets, or from like Boots or Superdrug or one of the chemists that's currently open. I know it's going to be difficult to get hold of some of these things. You can still order some bits online. I know Amazon is still delivering, and some other places online you might be able to get a few things from as well. So really all you're going to need to do this is, if I use these little lint-free wipes in the salon, but cotton wool pads is fine. Just normal cotton wool pads. If you haven't got cotton wool pads, or you can't get cotton wool pads, cotton wool balls, or like the tear-up cotton wool that you might have, some of you might have for your kids and things like that. So any cotton wool is absolutely fine. You're going to need a file. Most of you will probably just have a standard emery board at home. This is okay if you can when you're out and about. I know Sainsbury's in Ashford is particularly good for their beauty section now, but if you can get to Boots or anywhere like that, if you are going to one of the pharmacies, even somewhere like Lloyd's Pharmacy, if you've got one locally, and we have one here in Singleton, try and get yourself a slightly rougher file. A lot of places like Boots and the where you can get sort of more nail products and stuff from now, they do sell these rougher files, because obviously I don't advocate them, but you know, people can buy home gel kits and things like that. So there are these things around. So if you can get a slightly rougher file than just a standard emery board, this is going to make your life a little bit easier. These are generally what we would say is about 180 grit in the salon. So it's slightly coarser and rougher than a standard file. And this is just going to help to remove any little stubborn bits of gel there as well. And we need this to remove the top coat. So emery board, if that's all you have, it may take a little bit longer, but if you can get hold of one of these, fab, or like a nail buffer or something like that as well. Kind of look a little bit more like these. These are the Magpie ones. This is a 240 grit buffer. This is what I use in the salon when I take the shine off your nails. These are fine for removing top coat, and they will just get any little stubborn bits off. But again, if you can get a slightly rougher file, you can see these are a little bit thicker and rougher than your standard emery board, then these are great. You can pick these up from most of the shops where you'll get any nail things from. I don't think the outlet's open anymore. Not that I'm advocating that you should be going out shopping or anything like that, but some of you may have in the past visited things like the beauty outlet over at the outlet and may have picked these things up. So if you've got these things at home, then great. The other thing you're going to need is an orange, like a cuticle pusher stick. Looks a little bit like this. So yeah, one of these little wooden sticks is fine. To be honest with you, even if you've got sort of like, if you haven't got anything like this at home, obviously we use the metal cuticle pushers in the salon. These are perfect. You could use the back end of a teaspoon will probably help. Or if you've got like the little barbecue, you know, the little wooden barbecue skewers, obviously they're going to be a little bit more pointy. But even something like that, if you're just very gentle with it, that will help just to lift off any of the gel. So it's just kind of improvising with what you've got or what you can get hold of at the time. So cotton wool, files, something to scrape the gel off with, and then you need some foil. So in the salon we use these just for ease and convenience. We get these from the wholesalers. You can pick these up online actually. You can get them on things like Amazon and stuff like that. So again, if you can order some bits on there, great. If not, don't panic. These are purely just for convenience, and they probably do work out more expensive, to be fair. So if you can get these, great. If not, you've got your cotton wool pads. A good old bit of tin foil is all you need. So everyone's got this in their drawer or their cupboard at home. I've just literally torn some little squares up, probably about the size, no bigger than kind of a standard kind of coaster at home is what you need. You just need enough to make sure it's wrapped nice and tightly and there's no gaps around the nails, because what this is going to do is going to create heat, and it's going to help the acetone and the remover to warm up, and that will obviously speed up the removal process. So just tear up some little bits of foil. It's perfect. And then in terms of remover, obviously we have our standard removers. This is our Magpie remover. I use this for everything in the salon. It takes off gel, it takes off dip powder, all sorts of things, but I know obviously you're not going to be able to get hold of that. So what you're going to need is some acetone or artificial nail remover. This is the beauty outlet one. I've just picked these up. These are about £1. Again, some of you may have these at home already. If you haven't, in most of the pharmacies or chemists, and even like say some of the bigger supermarkets now where they've got quite good beauty sections, you should be able to pick up sort of, some of them do actually, I know Boots do a gel polish remover now. Worst case scenario, go to the pharmacy, ask over the counter and ask for some pure acetone. You will be able to get it, but you may only be able to get it over the counter. It's normally about £1.50 a bottle. It's not expensive. Normal nail polish remover will not work. Because most nail polish removers now are acetone free, because they're designed to be less drying on your nails and also safe to use over things like nail extensions. So this is an example. This is one I have at home from Superdrug. This is their standard acetone free nail polish remover. Great for removing normal polish. Will not get gel or dip. Certainly dip will not get that off. If you get really stuck and you've got a nail polish remover that does have acetone in it, you could certainly give that a try, but it may take longer to get the product off. So pure acetone or nail tip remover or artificial nail remover if you can get it. This is just a glorified renamed version of acetone. You can see on the label there, it says pure acetone at the bottom. Okay, but normal nail polish remover won't do it. At a push, if you've got one that isn't acetone free, that does have acetone in it, then that may work, but it may take a bit longer and it might not work on your dip powders just because they're a bit thicker. Okay, if any of you have got any questions or anything, then feel free to message me on our Facebook page or Instagram or pop me an email. It's absolutely fine. I can answer any questions you've got. So first thing we're going to do is we are going to take our file. So I'm going to use this for the purpose of showing you all today. You probably see me use these in the salon as well. These are the Magpie ones. Obviously these are professional, but yeah, so I'm going to take your file. So I'm going to start off with my thumb. This is with the dip powder. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the file and I'm just going to buff the top coat off. So just be careful with the skin around the nails, particularly if you've just bought one of these files. They can be a bit sharp. Careful of your cuticles. So very gently, all you're going to do is just really gently just buff over the top of the nail just to break the seal on the top coat. So really what you want to do is kind of scratch the surface of the nail. That's going to break the seal on the top coat, so you can see there. Just going to bring the lamp over so you can see a bit better. There we go. There we go. So you can see, sorry guys, you can see there that I've scratched all the top coat off of there and it's made it go kind of like a matte scratched finish on the top. I'm going to do exactly the same. That was the dip powder one. I'm going to do exactly the same on my index finger here with the gel polish. So I'm just going to go over, take the shine off. Gel polish is a little bit kind of softer than the dip. So it won't take as much getting off, and when you start to file it, if you file too much, you might find you start to go through the colour, which is fine, it's not a problem. But obviously don't buff right back to your bare nail because you're going to start filing your nail. Okay, so I've taken the shine off of the top of both of those. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a little piece of cotton wool. You don't want the cotton wool to be too thick. I would actually split these in half, or if you've got regular cotton wool that you've just torn off a little bit of cotton wool, just a nice fluffy bit that you can soak in some remover. So I'm just going to take my remover, I'm going to pop some of the remover on there. You don't want to completely saturate this in remover, but you want enough that it's going to cover the nail, and then just wrap it over the top like that. Okay, you're going to take a little bit of your foil, place the foil over the top and just wrap it round like a little jacket potato. Wrap it round the nail like so, and then just make sure that's all nice and tight. There's no gaps on there. If you tear the foil a little bit, don't worry, just wrap another little bit over. This one's a little bit short on my thumb, so I'm just going to take a little bit more foil and just wrap it around there. Okay, what you will find, or what I find, is when I sometimes do this at the salon, if I've run out of my boxes of wraps and I'm sort of in a bit of an emergency, I keep an emergency roll of foil in the drawer at the salon. Normal cooking foil at home is a little bit thinner. It does tear a little bit more. I suppose it depends where you buy it from, really. I think this is Sainsbury's own brand, but some of the tin foils at home can be a little bit softer, so they do tear a little bit more, so just be a little bit more gentle. We might use a little bit more of it. So I'm just going to take that other half of that cotton pad, just fold it into a little half moon. Like I say, if you've got the balls or the like the tear off kind of pieces of cotton wool, just a little kind of ball of cotton wool is fine, and just wrap it in your acetone. And then you're going to take, just want enough on there that's going to really soak in. What the foil does, not only does it heat the acetone up, but it also stops, because nail polish remover and acetone is kind of, it's a chemical, and obviously they're very alcohol based, these products, so they do evaporate. As soon as they make contact with the air, they evaporate. So if you were to just put little bits of cotton wool on your nails with remover on them and just sit them on the top, the product would just evaporate and it would dry out really quickly, so you're not going to get enough contact with that product on the nail for long enough. So it's going to just make the removal process quite hard. So the foil really does help. It heats it up, which makes it work quicker, but it also just stops it drying out as well. Okay, so that's the process. So I've wrapped those two up, so you can see you'll notice these from when you have them removed in the salon. See, they look like little jacket potatoes. They should feel nice and firm and tight on your fingers. If they don't, then they might be a bit loose. Just sort of squidge them together and make them nice and tight. So for gel polish, you're going to need to leave that for about 10-15 minutes before you need to take that off. And then what you're going to do is just have a little look, and you can start scraping it off with your orange stick or your skewer or whatever it is you're using. The dip polish does take a little bit longer, and it's certainly, if you're removing this yourself at home, you're not used to doing it, it is certainly going to take a bit of a longer process. So I would definitely set aside a bit of time when you've got no interruptions, yeah, just sort of leave it for, I'd say leave there for about 15-20 minutes before you even look at it. When you're using things like acetone removers and things like that, just be careful with any surfaces in the in your house, particularly if you've got like wooden surfaces or anything you're working on. Make sure you protect the surface with a towel, anything like that, just so that it's, in case you spill anything, I don't want to be responsible for you ruining any kind of like antique furniture or anything like that. So yeah, make sure you don't spill it like you would with nail polish remover. Don't spill it on any surfaces where it might stain or certainly take the polish and stuff out. So when you're putting things like cotton wool pads and stuff that have been soaked in it, maybe just have a little bowl or something to put everything in that you can then just chuck in the bin. Don't just put them down on here. I've done this so many times at home where I forget, and luckily it's quite an old table, but it has taken the polish off a few times. So yeah, just be a bit careful with that. Okay, so I'm going to leave these for about 10 minutes. I'm going to switch off for a second and I will come back in 10 minutes. Okay.